Hemole ke kau o kahana anaya o pono pono oe pono poi kau pono oe pono poi kau Emalia, Eya, ke kari aku ne o kai ke uanoa kau hana he nani kaini puwe he nani kaini puwe ke aloha Emalia mai oe Eya hoia ke kari aku ne o kai ke uanoa kau hana he nani kaini puwe he nani kaini puwe he nani kaini
You know, Akua, our creator, he created two realms for us, yeah? The first realm, the realm of Po, and then there's the realm of Ao. Okay? The realm of Po is where all our kupuna are. It is where all the spirits of our unborn are still waiting to be born. It's this darkness that we cannot see, but it's all around us nonetheless. When we are born, Akua says, here, go out into the world. I'll give you a lifetime to make a big circle. I'll give you a lifetime to touch all the people you can touch, to love all the people you can love, and get them to love you, and get them to be your family, your ohana. He gives us a lifetime. So we live our lives going through keiki, opio, makua, kupuna, and we're striving for that final promotion. When we get to our golden years, we're looking towards that final promotion of passing on to the next realm, or going back into the realm of Po. And while we're in the realm of Po, we become what we call in Hawaii, aumakua. Aumakua is nothing but your ancestor who has passed on, that comes back through these pukas between the two realms, between the realm of Ao, which we see and feel right now, and the realm of Po, which is all around us, but we cannot sense. But when our kupuna, when our loved ones pass on, we don't say goodbye to them, so this is not a goodbye. We get Nai'a in the harbor right here. This is what I mean about aumakua. So what I mean about Hawaiian. Thank you for that too. You know, when we do these things, stuff happens, and these are the things that the kids gonna remember for the rest of their lives. Stuff we're gonna remember. So the next time you guys are out in the water, next time you see a Nai'a, you're thinking of who? So when our people pass, we deify them. We raise them up, but they have to earn that promotion. Like I said earlier, Akua gives us a whole lifetime. Some of us take till we're in our 80s, 90s, and beyond. Some of us, we earn that promotion real fast. And then he says, I need you. And he takes you. And your being is manifested in the smiles of your children, the the memories. It's in people's minds and their hearts. Your being is there. Your being is there when somebody's facing a challenge and they remember how calm and strong you were, like Emalia was. You remember that, then you tell yourself, I can do this. I can do this. They're always there for us. We don't say goodbye, we say ahui ho. They come in and out, they visit us, they scold us, they guide us, they protect us. That's what Almakua does. And whether you believe in the traditional sense of that, you have to believe that, you know, our people are out there. Right now, each of us has Almakua right behind us, each of you, you know, and they direct your actions. So now we get one more. Make her proud. We have to live our lives to earn this circle that she earned. We have to live our lives so that when you reach that point, that you have enough people that have looked up to you and know that, wow, you had so much wisdom, so much strength of character and physical strength that, yeah, you will take us through the hard times. And that's what we do. We don't say goodbye. We just say, okay, I'll see you next time. I see you another night. Okay? So, before I do a quick pule, do we have any other announcements, Kaimana, Toby? Okay. Let's go out and celebrate. Pule. Now you can close your eyes, or you can look around as we pule. Look at the sky, the ocean, each other, everything God gave us, and appreciate what we have. Or you can choose to close your eyes and remember her face and the sound of her voice, her laugh. No matter. Pule kaku. E ke akua mana loa. Nau no I haku I ke elani. Nau no I ho'okumi ke ono a me ki a kai. Me nā mea ola āpau. Ka nai a kai a ka holoholoni ka pohe kanaka. Ke ia mau mea ka nau no I hawi mai I ke ia makana nui. A nau no I hawi mai I ke la ola o me Emalia. A ka ua pono no kona ola. No leila. Ua lawe o iaia I ko au, I ko hale. I mea e alaka ia I ka honua, I ka uhane o kākou āpau. No lele a kia kua. E malama o iaia I kona uhane. Ai houna mai iaia I na manawa a pono ke kona kokua, I kona ohana, kona mau hoa. Houna mai iaia. Kia kua. Kia kala e ho'ohalia I kona ola. No laila, ke olo e no pu mea mākou a pau pākahi I kona au o kākou a pau. I mea e piha ke aloha ona. Piha I kona na au. Piha kona nani. Oi wale no kau e noia o e kuahua. Oi wale no kau. Amene, amene, amene. Lele wale aku.
kalai o ke ka kahia ka ani mai kalau ki ave o ne uli I laila ho I e malea I ho ai me ka maluhia o ka vena o kaiao Havana vana mai na leo kupuna e me ke kai ne he mali e I ke o nei pa e mai ho I ka leo o na keiki au hea e maliu mai I na pua e Ho iau I kanani o makena I ka leo konoa ke kai o ke awalai I ka ho'ola I mai o na kaua kau Ho iau I kanani o makena Na ke ola o loko o ka iwi E ka mau I ke ia o ka aina aloha I ka ho'ola I mai o na kaua kau Ho iau I kanani o makena Puana ia kanani o makena I ka leo konoa ke kai o ke awalai I ka ho'ola I mai o na kaua kau E mau ke ola o na kamaina Ho iau I kanani o makena I ka leo konoa ke kai o ke awalai I ka ho'ola I mai o na kaua kau Ho iau I kanani o makena Ho iau I kanani o makena
Aloha. Aloha, aloha. On behalf of JB, Kahalakea, and the Guard Ohana, Zadok Brown Jr., Brooke Brown, and their Ohana, welcome, welcome, welcome. Mahalo nui loa for coming here to gather this afternoon from near and many from afar to share your love and support for them and to celebrate Emalia's life with them. It was Emalia's wish that if there were to be a gathering after she died, that it would be to celebrate her life and to share stories of our times together with her. And when this celebration ends, that we remember her as a wife to JB, a mother to Kahalakea, as the loving, gentle, and sweet daughter of Zadok and Brooke, and as a best friend and sister of Z3. As noted in the program, there's a verse from one of Emalia's favorite songs that has this to say: "The love and the laughter will live on long after all of the sadness and tears." On a brief personal note, as Emalia's godfather, and on behalf of Will and our family, Alika and Dorian, Ethan, Wendy, and Abigail and Jordan, I can say that Emalia will be missed terribly. That's for sure. But whenever her name is spoken, or an Emalia story is shared about old kids' times, or times at Keawiki, or being a mom, or paddling with JB, it's guaranteed to bring both laughter and smiles to us all. So thank you, JB, Zadok, and Brooke. Thank you for including all of us for this celebration of dear Emalia's life. And to start that celebration, I can smile because he's off his chair already. Steve, Coach Colflesh, we're on his home turf, and you're sure to enjoy what he has to say.
Well, I'm sad for the reason that brings us here today, but I'm happy for all of us who had the opportunity to be a part of Emalia's life. We're here because she was a loving, caring, and beautiful person. We're all part of Team Emalia. We're here to support the great families of the Browns and the Guards. The number of people these families have supported in a positive manner is countless, and Emalia was a major contributor to that. When I met Em, she was in the 8th grade. I watched her in a PE class and I said, "We got a great athlete." And then she was surrounded with some girls who were intense competitors. Fife, Becky, Julia, Dorian, to name just a few. What I didn't realize was that all the girls loved Emalia. She was a natural leader. If you told Emalia that she was a leader, she would go, no, I'm not a leader. But the girls always followed Emalia. They wanted her to succeed. Her senior year, she led the team to the state tournament where she was selected as an all-state player, the first all-state player that Seabury Hall had in volleyball. Then she left and went to the University of Vermont. We were on the East Coast during that year, and we had a chance to visit with Emalia. The first few minutes we saw her, we realized she was a fish out of water. The fact that we had to walk underground so she could show us the campus because it was too cold on top, Melissa and I said, no, Emalia will not be here much longer. And she did. She transferred. Well, when she finished her formal education, she returned to Maui and became an expert on fitness. Now, prior to that, if you had put Emalia and running in the same sentence, it wouldn't happen. Well, she became an expert. And then she and JB acquired all the toys and became outstanding personal trainers. At that time, at Seabury Hall, we decided to upgrade the curriculum a little bit and hire a new PE teacher. The other guy wasn't doing it very well. I know, because it was me. It was amazing how when we had that discussion in the admin meeting, how everyone agreed we needed a new PE teacher. So anyway, but Emalia was a natural choice. I loved watching Em on the job. She took it on with such enthusiasm. And the curriculum was lifelong fitness. And we would have kids in there who did not perceive themselves as athletes, but certainly had hearts and lungs and had to take care of themselves. She motivated those kids that they would come down on their free time and check out the heart monitors. And I'd be going, there must be another use for this, because I can't imagine these guys are trying to get more exercise. But I'd look out there and sure enough to be running. And a lot of times Em would be running with them. But a bonus for me during her tenure at Seabury was the time we spent together in the athletic office. Em would look at me and ask me questions like, what is reality? Or, to what extent do you shape your own destiny, and how much is due to fate? But my favorite was, if you were to dive into a pool of Jell-O, would you drown? We pondered these questions for hours. Well, when Em and Fife were captains of the volleyball team, we used an acronym during timeouts before we went back on the court or at the end of the match. The acronym was STAFFITA. I can't tell you what those letters mean, because I can't remember. No, because we made a pact that we would never tell anybody. But what I did was create a new acronym with those same letters. Stay tough and play heroically, and don't allow weakness. I believe this is the way Em fought her last battle. What I'd like to all of us to do right now, since we're all on Team Emalia, is cheer, make that cheer. But I would like some assistance. So any girl who played with Emalia during her 4 years as a starter, would you please come up here right now? Becky, and I know who you are. Get up here. You can see why I like to call timeouts. I mean, come on, great looking girls, athletic. So on three, we're all going to yell STAFFITA and let Em know that we're still part of her team. 1, 2, 3. STAFFITA! Thank you.
Becky Worley's here, and I will tell you that Emalia had many, many, many close friends, but Becky was right there with her from small kid time, watching them grow up together. If you ever wanted to have fun and listen to people laugh, all you had to do was get together with Becky and Emalia. She's kept in touch. She comes back often to visit, and she was with Em right to the very end. And I know on behalf of all of the families here that we have a deep gratitude for her sticking with us. And so, Becky, I can hardly wait to hear what you have to say.
STAFFITA. Nice. Yeah. Okay, gang. So Emily and I became friends when we were 12. We were carpooling to Seabury every day. It was a friendship that was really forged in an intense situation. 2 hours in a car, confined space, with 2 teenage boys, one of whom was Zaid. So, a crucible. And I love you, Zaid, if I can give you heat on a day like today. As Emily and I got older, I remember thinking, why do people always remark how beautiful she is? I mean, she was, but why don't they tell her the more obvious thing? How smart, how funny she is. Right inside Cooper House, 4.0 Club, Emalia Brown. Smart, that bugger. She was organized and funny, and when it came to her organization, she wasn't so technologically gifted. She was still AOL.com email, 2014, but I like. She invented the Palm Pilot. She would always write on her palm when she had things to buy at Costco's. Even though Em was all these things, smart and beautiful and funny, over time what people really noticed was just her kindness and her graciousness and the outpouring from all of you over this period of time, remembering sweet Emalia. It's really been incredible. It's a testament to her deep, deep kindness. But not unlike my slightly skewed vision of her as a kid, I see another side of her that I really wanted to honor today. Emily and I had a fight once. It was August 1987. It was the worst 3 days of my young life. And I made a decision right then and there never to piss her off again. If I had to paint you a mental picture of Emalia, it would be a layer of whipped cream and then a really, really thick layer of chocolate chip cookie dough. And underneath that, solid steel plate. If you ever ran with her, or paddled with her, or studied with her, you saw how steady and determined she was. She was not going to back down. When she made up her mind to do something, she did it. You'd mention something to Em, maybe an idea, an observation, something she might institute in her life, perhaps something, just an idea for her. And she'd nod and she'd say, oh yeah, okay, right, all right, okay, yeah, okay. But if she didn't act on it, you might mention it again. Oh yeah, very interesting, Beck. Okay, yeah, okay, great. But after that, don't bother. She was sharp as a tack. Nothing got by her. If she wasn't going to do something, she wasn't going to do it. And I loved her stubborn as a mule side. Right, James? To a person, everyone who met her said that she always had a smile on her face. Except for this one guy. He was driving a convertible PT Cruiser on Hana Highway. And he stopped at a red light and he flicked a candy wrapper or a cigarette butt out the side of the car onto the road. And Emalia took umbrage at his act of littering, so she put her car into park and she had her tidy little bag of rubbish on the passenger seat. And she grabbed that bag and she opened the door and she went right up to the PT Cruiser and she dumped the entire bag of her rubbish into his car. Shocking, right? Emalia. And JB was worried. Like, Em, you can't do that. What if the guy had gotten out? But Em wasn't worried. You see, she saw herself differently than we all probably do. Bruce, can you stand up? Brucey, yeah, you. Emalia once told me that there was a big part of her deep down that looked just like that guy. That's her words. Just like Bruce You can sit down now, Bruce. Now, 2 years ago, this revelation of Emma's inner vision might have shocked you, but in her fight with cancer, I think, we all started to see that guy in her. There was fight in her to the very end, and we all knew she wasn't going to give up so long as Kahala and JB filled her utter consciousness and being. After all the chemo and all the pain and all the nausea and the operations that she endured, her doctor at Stanford, he just said it best, one of the best oncologists in the country. He said, "Emalia, no one can ever question that you've done everything you can do." It was brutal. And so how did she do it? That solid steel plate was definitely a big part of her DNA. Her strength was fed by a different source, though. Early in the fight, one doctor was gauging what type of a patient Emalia might be, and he asked a really interesting question while taking her medical history. He said, "Where do you get your strength?" And without hesitating, she said, "I have a phenomenal support system, and I'm looking at them all right now." Do me a favor, if you have a program, pull it out and look at the picture on the front. We tried to find a picture to embody Emalia, the essence of her. We searched hundreds, maybe even thousands, trying to find one of her looking into the camera, a shot of her alone. And you know what? Not one of them captured her essence. And that's because she most looked like herself when she had her arm around someone else and her head pressed into you, or when she was looking at someone. And when she was looking at you, JB, when she was looking at Kahala, she radiated. And it wasn't just the ones close to her. She took us all in. It was that real power of the connection with M that made us all love her so much, and it powered her deep strength. And I have to say, it's really changed my perception of what strength is. I used to think that strength was this solo Bruce Ooh down inside of me. And I had to just do it. But now I realize strength is a group state of being. Many Bruces shoulder to shoulder. Jabes, I am in complete awe of you. It was so hard and so heavy, and you walked with her every step. Brooke, you were there for her, and you would have taken this for her, and you said that many times. Uncle Zadok, it meant the world to her. It meant the world to her, and she told me this when you uttered the words, "You're damn right we're doing it." And you were with her. Zaid, you were her best friend, and she idolized you. And to all of her family, you were with her, and what you did mattered. Jess, John, Susan, Dean, Wardo, you've been there. You've been with JB. Christy, Dorian, Jess Greco, Rochelle, Fife, we held her. Jane, Ryan, Alika, Dylan, Andy, you facilitated that for us. Maui Fire, Sandy, George, Koa. Perfect attendance, are you kidding me? You guys stepped up. You sacrificed time with your own families for Emalia. M's girls, you made her a priority and you kept it real. Everyone who made food, took Aito, helped with Kahala, donated money. It was incredible. Hawaiian Canoe Club, today, are you kidding? Auntie Emmy, this beautiful place for us to remember her. I told my son Finn that we were going to see Uncle JB in Kahala this weekend, and he said very matter-of-factly, "Well, it's not going to be as much fun without Auntie M's." I am going to miss Emalia so much. Her fun, her beauty, her sweetness, her intelligence. But I see her strength reflected in every one of you, and I will remember her in you always.
my great friend.
Hope I can do this. This is not a time for speechifying, if you know what I mean. So I want to start out by saying I'm the lucky guy that was Emalia's dad. And over the last 16 or 17 months, I've learned a lot about a lot of things, but most importantly, I've learned about how someone is near and very dear to me fought the good fight. And I mean to tell you, she really fought the good fight. I never heard a word edgewise from her about things that were negative. And she was getting her butt kicked by this thing. And I hope it's made me a more thoughtful, better person as a result. Becky, we have not had any collaboration on remarks this afternoon, but the thing that I wanted to say most is, and Becky did it by naming people. I'm afraid if I started trying to do that, I'd be here for 3 hours. But the support and love that has come from this community, from Emalia's friends, from people she really didn't know very well, has been beyond belief. And for every bit of that, I have nothing but aloha. This morning at Hawaiian Canoe Club down at the Holly, I was absolutely, as those of you who were there as well, I'm sure was overwhelmed. It was a feeling of great joy, really. And so, in closing, I want to say that I was lucky to be her dad, but now I hope I've become a more humble person as a result of it. My great and dear friend Abigail is going to come up and dance now, so I'll retire from the scene and let somebody who knows what's going on really do something.
in a slight break from the program, I just wanted to bring my daughter Hayden up because she has a little thing that she wrote, and then I'll follow her after that. So come on up.
Okay, we're crossing our fingers that I can finish this without like sobbing, so yeah.
You got it.
My NTM was the true meaning of greatness. She had so much just charisma and character, and I know that she brightened every one of our lives in some way. She was so compassionate and caring and loving, and at one point in our lives, she definitely picked us up and dusted us off, and there's no amount of things that we can give to her for that. I'm gonna miss her so much, and I know that everyone here is too. She's gonna stay in our hearts and our minds forever, and until we see her again. I think this is from all of us, but I think we all just want to say aloha, ahui ho, Emalia.
So as I was kind of going back through the memory banks, and I started thinking about what to say, I realized there's just no amount of memories that you can kind of plumb through and stories to tell other than just she was the best sister ever growing up. So I thought instead that I would kind of reflect a bit on what she left in a video that she has left for all of us to view. And it's kind of how she wanted to be remembered. Hey, Decky, what's up, dude? You know, she left behind the idea that she's always going to be around. If you look out in the sun, you look out in the flowers, you look at the butterflies, she's around us, you know, especially today, and as we go forward. And that got me thinking about a time when we were driving back to California from Colorado on one of our many trips back and forth to school. And it was middle of the night, she was driving, and I was in a car in front of her driving a friend of ours who refused to drive, and he slept the whole time. So we'd gotten into, because you're out, you know, 10 hours into your drive, and you're out in the middle of Salt Flat, and there's just a gorgeous moon up, so you could see without your headlights. So we started following the car in front and turning off your headlights. Don't know why, but I just remember her being behind and, you know, flicking her lights and turning them off and turning them on and turning them off. And then we got into a stretch where she just turned them off, and you kind of waiting and waiting and waiting, like, okay, is she back there? Is she back there? You know, and this went on probably, I'd say, a good 3 or 4 minutes. So when we were starting to think about pulling over, and then she turned the lights back on. And that obviously was a great relief. You know, I kind of look at this time and just go, you know, she's following behind us with the lights off. And when I think back on all the good times that we had, on all the good times that all of us shared with her, that's kind of like a nice flash of light coming from behind. And secondarily, along that same vein, you know, we were sharing with our boys where Em is, and, you know, she's up in the sky, she's all around us. We got outside, and Z looked up, and there was an airplane just coming by, and he goes, "It's Auntie Em's plane." And kind of every day now, it's Auntie Em's plane up there. And I looked at that and thought, that's just wonderful, because there's a lot of planes in the sky, A, and B, you know, it's a constant reminder that she is out there. I mean, all you got to do is just look up and you'll see a plane flying by. So just remembering those two items and pass along that she was just the best sister ever.
And I never thought I'd be doing this. Oh, it's just not the way it's supposed to be for us two-leggeds. So much of what people before me have said were things that I feel so strongly. Emalia, as we all agree, was just a light being. You know, she was just love, just a love child. You know, she just exuded love, radiated love everywhere. And as a child, when she was first a baby, she was hard. Prudy Potter's here, and she can attest to that. She would be really happy, or she'd be screaming, and it was really hard. But she outgrew that pretty quickly and extremely well, and had the most incredible disposition all her life. And one of the things I was thinking the other day, I'd never stopped to think about this. I mean, I've always felt that we were totally in sync, but I realized we never had a fight, ever. We never had a disagreement. You know, it was just rather amazing and beautiful and wonderful, and it speaks really to her tolerance, her great capacity to be kind and gentle and give everybody such respect and space, and this unconditional love that certainly as a mother I felt for her, but I felt back from her, and I think her father would agree with that. I mean, it's unconditional. And I know many of you have experienced that also. And it's encompassed family, friends, and her love for Hawaii. I can remember when she went to the mainland for college, she used to say, "Mom," because I was living, when she went to the mainland, I stayed there and started graduate school, and she'd come and spend many vacations with me or on the way back and forth here. And I could see these men, you know, along the way just kind of giving her the eye, you know, and, you know, calling her, and she was not interested in any of them. And many of them became good friends. But she said, "Mom, I would never marry anybody from the mainland." Oh, no, I gotta live in Hawaii. I mean, she was so Hawaii, totally. And, you know, you've all seen it. And then when she and JB got together, the love that she felt for him, as Becky said, she just radiated it. I could see this. And as a mother, it made me so happy seeing this with her. And then when Kahala came along, I will never forget her face that first hour of his life. She had fallen in love like I've never seen another human being look. And that continued, you know, and when Abby was dancing, I was watching how beautiful Abby was and how graceful, and I was watching Abby's hands. And I've always admired Emalia's hands. I thought they were so beautiful and the way she used them. And she used to just, you know, when Kahala Kea was little, she would touch him, and it was so beautiful. Such love. And then, August 20th, a year and a half ago, her world's turned upside down. And she went from this carefree child woman to a woman facing the unimaginable. And I'm just awed. I mean, what she faced, what she went through, the whole time, the amount of pain she went through, and nausea. In a year and a half, I can only think of 2 days during which there was a period of time when she wasn't nauseous. And that is a long time. And she never complained. Never complained. You know, I mean, like, once in a while she might say, "Oh, Mom, my back's sore." And she'd say, oh, sorry, I don't mean to complain. I'd say, "Complain? You know, that's reporting. That's not even beginning to complain." And she never, ever went into that victim place or the "why me?" In fact, She said to me on a couple of occasions, and I heard her say it to other people when I was there, she said, "Oh, you know what? I am so glad it's not Kahalakea. I am so glad it's not JB. I'm so glad it's not you. I'm the best candidate for this." And I go, "Oh, no. I've had a long life. I'm the best candidate. No. I'm the best." And she believed she could beat it. And she gave it her all. She was unremitting. It's that steel that Becky talked about. And she met every single day, every hour, every minute of the day with such courage and such grace and perseverance. You know, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. At Stanford, after the operation that didn't take place, it couldn't take place, that was going to be a long deal. And she knew the recovery time was going to be long. But she would go through everything for JB and for Kahalakea. She just gave it everything. And I will never forget being in the recovery room with JB and Becky when the doctor came in and she came to. And the doctor had to tell her it hadn't been possible. The first words out of her mouth, as tears rolled down her eyes, were, "Thank you for trying." You know, it blew us away, you know, and that was Emalia. And Emalia, during this time, became my absolute greatest teacher. I have learned so much from her, and a lot of it I couldn't begin to put into words, but it's worked me. She's worked me, and she continues to. And one of the things that was awesome for us, we talked a lot during this time of how grateful we were for so many things. And big among them was all of you, because the support, the love that we kept feeling coming from all of you and from many people who could not be here today, and from strangers. We would hear that people in churches and friends of friends were praying for her and praying for JB and Kahala and holding us in their prayers. It was unbelievable. We really felt held in this sea of love. And I really feel that we honor her by moving forward, as she did, from this place of courage and kindness and love. And in closing, I just want to say, Emalia, my beloved daughter, my noble, graceful, courageous warrior, I bow to you.
Well, I had a different speech, but I think after this morning, I got my get out of jail free card for only keeping it to a small gathering of friends. She definitely understood that myself and Kahalakea and the rest of our family, we were going to need the continued support that all of you have offered us. Hopefully we never have to be in this situation again, but for my mental Rolodex, don't go last. Everything's been said. I don't want to repeat it. Nothing better than this morning to really reiterate Em being with us again. And she will continue to do so. So, our little rugrat is running around out there somewhere. And for me, I'm definitely blessed. It's not the best to be up here. But I'm the luckiest man alive for having the years that I did. So I guess the easiest one for me is just to go over the things I told Em in the last few days when she could no longer talk, but how that Kahalakea and I would remember her. Babes, thank you. I'm only up here because I knew how hard she was fighting, and for her to get up and dance hula for me on our wedding was a big one for her. So again, the steel plate, I can look to her for strength. we had to omit a few things in the program when we felt they just weren't Emalia enough. So from a few prayers, I kind of whittled it down to things that Kahala and I go out for in the morning when we go and try to watch the sunrise and say good morning to Mom or wake up Mom if the sun's not up yet. And that's Mommy warming us up with the sun. I mean, not a global warming warm, but just a feel warm. And then the other one's just for all of us. And again, we really saw it, how beautiful the day has been, and everyone up here, and just the setup and all these people. So, I mean, so to think she was going to get away with 20 people coming to her. Kind of just fade off into the sunset. So the other ones that we talk about were just the breeze being a little more pleasant, flowers a little more fragrant, the songs of our birds a little sweeter, for her exercise a bit more rewarding, for all of us, our children, a little more adorable. She did. She thought Kahala really just looked right into her soul the day he was born. And her world just slowed down for that, and she was just always so present with friends and family. For our Father, the heavens bringing us more rain. The stars will be a little brighter. For all of us, in anything we notice, we may think of our sweet Emalia. So thank you for all the help along the way. And again, I am the luckiest man to have had my time with her, and all of us are lucky to have known her. Aloha.
We're lucky at this time to help us with the closing of this gathering. Iokepa Naoli, if you were at the canoe club this morning, it was quite spectacular. And Iokepa started that, and he's here to help us close. Iokepa?
Aloha. How many times people ask you, what does that word mean? And for some of us, it's easy. You can spit out a word here and there, or you try to go into, the philosophy of or the concept of what it means. And those of us who have been here long enough and have been exposed to some of the kumus that like I have been exposed to, and it's something that you cannot sit down with somebody and try to spell out in a 2-3 minute conversation. So, somebody gave us an example. Somebody left us an example. Who here doesn't have a smartphone or a wallet that you can keep a photo in? Okay, almost everybody does now. So if anybody ever asks you, whether it be Malihini or somebody from here, if they ask you, what is your concept of aloha? What does it mean to you? Pull out your phone, pull out that picture of M, and show. And just show it to them. And then they're going to ask you, who is that? Oh, you're like, no, let me sit down and tell you about this girl. The empathy, the unconditional love that she showed wherever she went, and everybody's been talking about it tonight. That's her. So you guys got to carry this with you. God speaks through everybody, yeah? Some of us, he speaks through louder than others. Emalia, just through her action, just through her being, it's just her smile and her soft touch. She didn't have to say anything, but wow, that's God's love right there. So that's something we got to remember. You got to take that example that she left for us and be tender with each other, with our children, with our neighbors, with our spouses and our partners, and especially our kupuna. Got to be tender with each other. And that unconditional love, that aloha, as we witnessed, curious, we can, that can be our guide. So today we were down at the hale, appropriate, with the sun coming up, at our back, and now we're looking at it going down on the west side. This, we talked about that big circle that she has. Look at this circle. It's not really a circle, but it's huge. Okay, so in the Hawaiian belief, there's no linear point from A to B in time and space. Everything goes in circles, in and out, back and forth. So Emalia, she's gonna be coming in and out, back and forth with us. Every once in a while, you're gonna be busy in your day, and bang, something's gonna come into your head, and you're gonna stop. And I dare you to just stop in your tracks and just, wow, yeah, okay, that's, for some of us, that's who I want to be. So that's our challenge, when we say ahui ho to somebody like this, we got to remember that, hey, you could be doing something and all of a sudden the lights go on behind you. Yeah. And you go, oh, there she is. Oh, thank you. And we got to remember those things. And that's just how we work over here. That's how everybody should be thinking. No matter you say ahui ho to somebody, they're still coming behind you. And they're still pushing you in the right direction. And hopefully you follow that guidance. With that, we'll say apule to close today. Let's bow our heads. E ke akua mana loa, na amakua kapo, na amakua ke au. Nā kupu na apau e noho mai ne makia aina. He mahalo haa ke ia oko, na ka ho'ui ana mai ia mātou makia la, ho'ahali ia Emalia. He la mai ka ike ia, no ka hui ana i ke ohana, ka ohana I ulua I me I piha ke ia hale pēra. Ke olo e nopu me mako make ahi, ho piha kana awa ke kahi me ke aloha, ke kahi, e liki me ke aloha a Emalia I hui ki mai ai. Ke olo e mālama I kona uhane. Hou na mai aia, I na mana wa apau I me e hoi kai ka uhane o mako. Kona ohana, JB me ka halakea, me kona mau makua, ia mātou apau. Ke akua, e mahalo no ka mea ai no ke ia la, e ho mai kai na lima I ho maka kau I ka mea ai, me ke aloha no hoi. Ke pau ki ia, ke hui ana, I ko mako hoi ana I ka hale pono I, me ko lima aloha, e lawe mai ia mako I ko mako hale. Oi vale no ka ino ia oi e ke akua. Amen. Father God, we humbly thank you. All the ancestors, all the kupunas on this land, we thank you for allowing us to gather here today to fondly remember Emalia. And we ask that you stay with us throughout this evening and throughout our lives, and you send her to us when we need her. And you send her to us when the time arises where we face challenges in life, so that she may guide us and keep us going on the right path. And we ask you to stay with us this evening and fill each other, fill our na'au, our opu with the aloha for each other. The same aloha that Emalia showed us, and so they can grow stronger throughout this land. We thank you for the food that has been prepared with loving hands, and we ask that when this gathering is over, you guide us home with your loving hand, guide our cars home to our houses safely. In that, I pray, Amen, Amen, Amen. Aloha.
Keep on